Hey, welcome back to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. I'm your host, Coach Zach. I'm here with Coach Adam and Coach Jolie. And today we are talking about bodybuilding, old school, traditional bodybuilding. Is that how you should be training? We'll get into that. But before we do, we always like to give a shout out to a client of the week. And this week I want to give a shout out to Miss Mary Thickert, who is just like a delightful person. That's really why I wanted to give her a shout out. Two kind of key things with Mary. She is so consistent. She like never misses a workout. And then she's always just like so happy. She's always like happy and just, and she just comes in, she works out. She's what we refer to as just like a lifestyle client. Like she has no goals, right? Her goal is like, hey, I'm just going to work out and be healthy. And then, maybe I'll drink some wine later.
She's getting married, I think this month, next month.
Getting married. So
just excited. Yeah. Lifestyle client.
Just like she's just always just enjoying life, which is just awesome to see. And I think that's really, when it comes down to it, that's like our goal is to have somebody be healthy, help them achieve that, and then just like go enjoy their life. Yeah. So
she's doing a great job.
We love you, Mary. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about bodybuilding. So bodybuilding is really, I guess, kind of how I got into into working out. I mean, I was an athlete, so I played baseball and I started lifting to like get strong and, that whole thing and performance based. But then like after baseball, I'm, just like, hey, I want to just be swole and look good with my shirt off. And so I started
golf.
And what?
And golf.
Golf?
Yeah.
Golf?
Ex baseball.
Oh yeah. Golf. That's always right.
Just
but
look good in golf. That's it.
But so I just like went to the traditional like bodybuilding split because that's what was really the information that was out there when I was younger. It was like Monday is chest day, Tuesday is back day, Wednesday is leg day, Thursday is shoulder day, and then Friday's like arm day. Core circuit. And it was just like that for a couple of years before I got into training. That was my like workout routine. It was like the old school bodybuilding, split. So, what do you guys think about that? What do you think about bodybuilding?
The splits themselves don't, I think, ensure, good effective recovery when you're sometimes only hitting one primary muscle group in a week. So there can be holes in your training that might not be super apparent, but if you're breaking things into muscle groups like that or sections of the body, it could be easy to forget or neglect other areas. So I feel like definitely in functional training, you need to be visiting muscle groups multiple times a week. And that's not always the case with those splits, I think. And then the recovery might be either sometimes not enough or too long. And that's obviously super important. So I think it's hard to like schedule accordingly or like correctly when you're following a split like that.
Yeah, I think to do a bodybuilding split, you have to be so disciplined and you can't miss a workout. Because if you like,
it's like a week later.
Yeah. If Wednesday is leg day and you skip leg day, which lots of, self-proclaimed bodybuilders do, you skip leg day. It's like your next leg day isn't for another full week.
Yeah.
So you went 2 weeks without like training that body part or those, I guess in bodybuilding, you don't think about movement patterns. You just think about like, oh, I want to grow this muscle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say that's the first major flaw that you're pointing out is just from a schedule routine. It's not really realistic for the average person.
Right.
Yeah.
And then for just functional movement in general, of being able to, what we, kind of preach here with our lift methodology is just being able to live a healthier lifestyle and be able to move better.
Not get injured.
I don't think it's really set up for that in terms of functionality, where we're just working singular muscle groups and one body part a day.
Yeah, the goals are the goals are different.
Yeah.
Like, completely different. Like bodybuilding's aesthetic, like trying everything very symmetrical, muscle size, and then with functional training, it's stability, application to real life, balance, things like that.
Yeah. Well, I remember like my first several experiences with like bodybuilding workouts in the gym. And I remember an arm day. It was maybe like, oh, okay, I'm going to go in. I got my workout, my bodybuilding workout routine. I did like chest and then back, and then I get to arm day. And I remember doing arms. So like the way bodybuilding works is because it's like, this is your day of a specific muscle group. You're not working just like, you're not doing one set or one block of of chest, right? You're doing like 7 or 8 different chest exercises in the same workout. So I remember like going through this process, my body's just like wrecked by the end of the week, but you got to be disciplined. So Friday was arm day where you just do bis and tris for like the whole session.
Jeez.
And I remember waking up, this was Friday. I remember waking up on Saturday and I couldn't straighten my right arm. It was legit locked like this for like 3 days. Oof. I couldn't, and it didn't matter like what I did to try to, like get it to extend. It wasn't moving. It was like locked in. And so, yeah, like the amount of volume that you're placing on just like 1 or 2 body parts is just creates all kinds of, damage to the muscle. And then the idea behind that, and it's effective is like, you basically crush that a particular muscle. You create all these muscle fiber tears, and then you just let that muscle sit and rest for a week. Yeah. And as it repairs, those muscle fibers they grow back. They fill in the gaps essentially. So your muscle is growing. You're not that's not a good protocol for getting stronger, but it is effective for hypertrophy, for muscle growth. In order for you to get stronger, which is what you mentioned, is you need more frequency. You can't go that long without hitting a body part. So even a full week, you're not training your neuromuscular system to enough or frequently enough to get to a point where it's like you start to get stronger and your body's like, yeah, we remember how to do this now. I can, recruit better and more neurons, and, I can fire my neuromuscular system better, and then I can increase the load.
Yeah. And I think looking even at the whole kind of fatigue or that on like a more micro level, like in the workout itself, if you have like your example of a chest day, like you're not able to put in, 90 to 100% effort into an exercise that's your 7th or 8th exercise of the day.
It works the same
it's
muscle.
like, why are you doing it? Yeah. So it's like even on that micro level, you just overall like RP, rate perceived exertion, like by the end of the day is like you're not able to perform up to what you could probably physiologically do if you had proper rest or like proper balance throughout your workout. So I think that's like even on like just a day to day, like when they load up like a muscle group like that. Yeah. It's just doesn't. Yeah.
Well, Jolie, like I'm going to go to you because I already know how you're going to respond to this, but who should do bodybuilding? Like who is it appropriate for?
Bodybuilders.
Oh, snap. Right. It kind of is a sport, right? Because like bodybuilder, the way it became really popular was like it's competitions. There's shows, there's Mr. Olympia, and now you got all kinds of different physique competitions and stuff, but it's kind of like its own clique, its own, I won't say cult, but like its own thing. And if you're not in that world and that's not what you're going for, then there's better ways to train, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's unrealistic for the average person to say, hey, I'm going to train this way and get the result from it. Because even if you're like, well, I don't care about getting stronger, I just want to, get bigger or grow my muscles. A lot of it's diet. So you have to eat like an insane amount, like every, 2.5 hours to see that growth, like of the people that you're seeing that already have these physiques. It's like they're training and they're doing these splits. Sometimes they're training twice a day. They're eating, their diet is like so regimented. This is the whole old like chicken, brown rice and broccoli type of thing. Well, they're eating that like 4 or 5 times a day, you know, just in meals. And then, you know, the other part about it is like the person that you're seeing that has like this incredible physique, most likely that person, I don't want to say everybody, but most likely that person is on steroids. I mean, you know, like you don't get... Yeah, even the most elite, like like even the most elite, you know, athletes who are strong and they're training like that, their bodies don't look the way that, you know, a competitor bodybuilders does, without some extra help, we'll say. Assistance, right? So, you know, bodybuilding, if you're someone who's like, hey, I want to get in shape, and you see that type of person, like, first of all, let's be realistic about it and let's call it what it is. You know, it's not fair for an average person to see that and then go like, oh, that's obtainable, when, you know, you're not going to take we'll call it performance enhancing supplements or to get to that level. And then also, you know, you can improve how well you look, and you can be in phenomenal shape without jeopardizing what a bodybuilding program is going to do to you, you know. I
think a sometimes forgotten too is the injury prevention part of it.
Yeah.
It's like pretty max effort. Like it's, not the best approach. So on people's, you know, daily lives is like functional, being able to apply your work that you do in the gym to everyday life and being overall healthy, but mostly not injured, I think is what kind of outweighs, you know, like bodybuilders are not putting injuries at the top of their priority list.
Yeah. Well, and just from like an overall like vitality and energy standpoint, when you create muscle tissue damage, there are free radicals that are released, right? There's an oxidative response. And, you know, so everybody kind of has heard about antioxidants, like, oh, I need antioxidants, those are so good for me. Well, you're creating oxidants when you create muscle tissue damage, right? Yeah. And so even with a bodybuilding program, it's like you're going to destroy, let's say, like your chest because of the amount of volume you're doing in one single workout. Well, that's oxidation. And then, yes, it's isolated to, you know, a couple of muscle groups. But then the next day you hit a different muscle, and that's oxidation, and your chest isn't going to recover in one day, right? So then you have your chest and your back that tissue's now trying to repair. Then you destroy your legs. Then you destroy, and so what ends up happening is you have this constant response inside your body where it's trying to repair itself, and your energy levels can drop. And then you're prone to injury, and your immune system becomes suppressed. And so you just go into this vicious kind of like cycle. And then if you're on a restricted like you have a calorie deficit, in addition to that, because you're trying to like get into competition shape, you're going to be in really bad, you know, like you're not going to feel good. You're not going to be able to just be like, hey, I want to go enjoy myself. So even if you do get it to a point where you look phenomenal, it's like at what cost, essentially. So I just wanted to touch on this topic because, you know, it for a long time, that was kind of the go-to way to train. You know, it's like, oh, we're going to get in the gym, we're going to hit this muscle group, and then we'll come back tomorrow and hit this other muscle group. And it was really focused on muscles as opposed to like movement patterns. And that's where the functional, you know, training comes in. And we can train smart. We don't have to and still get a really great result. We don't have to, you know, train in that way. Now, if you're somebody who just like absolutely loves that, then, you know, that's your world, then go do it, you know. But for the average person that's like, hey, just want to feel really good, I want to tone up a little bit, I want to lose some body fat, then there's a smarter way to go about it.
Agreed.
So, All right, guys, that's all we got for you. We'll be back next week with more great stuff. Thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. Do you have a question that you'd like for us to answer live on the podcast? If so, all you need to do is head over to the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone and do 3 simple things. First, leave us a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want related to health, fitness, or nutrition. And if you want a shout out, leave us your Instagram handle or name. That's all you have to do. Then listen to hear your questions answered live on the next Q&A episode.